Hello everybody! Today I'm playing Tsukihime, but this time I'm playing by myself because Aiden wants me to react to it by myself. So we're just gonna be playing by myself. And this is the 10th and final day, I think. It's morning. I open my eyes and put on the glasses near my bed. Looking out the window, I see a cloudless blue sky. Even though a flawless morning greets me, I can't help but feel down. There's no need to wonder why. What happened with ARCUEID'S last night sticks in the back of my mind, and the accompanying guilt troubles me. She said we would just forget it, but I can't forget such a thing. I look at both of my hands. Those fingers still remember how ARCUEID felt. Even now I remember the texture of her skin and her cool, gliding body temperature. I was thinking it all back then, but I understand it all now. After doing such a thing, ARCUEID said to forget and pretend like it never happened. But while I regret it totally, I can't even forget one little bit of it. What I regret is not being able to control myself back then. If I didn't touch her like some animal, I would have touched her more like a human, how things would have... I knew it. I didn't lose myself by looking into her golden eyes. I didn't realize it, but I was caught up in her a long time ago. To realize such a simple thing just now. The morning in the Tono mansion is the same as always. Hisui comes to wake me. Haki and Kawaku are in the sitting room, and we greet each other briefly before we go to school. Same as always. Yet I feel so empty I can't even respond properly when people talk to me, and I leave the mansion vacantly. The students streaming through the gate are all bright and cheerful. Oh yeah, today is Saturday. My sense of time has totally disappeared since ARCUEID came into my life. The first time I met her was on a Friday. A week ago in the morning, she was waiting for me at the intersection in front of school. She was smiling, I think. Come to think of it, she was smiling. Even though she was waiting for the one who killed her, she was waiting for the killer Tono shaky with excitement in her eyes. I wonder why? If she comes tonight, maybe I'll ask her. After thinking out loud, my spirits sank further. She probably won't come to the park. The feeling that last night was our final meeting turns over in my mind. My heart is heavy and everything else simply feels empty. I may not ever see her again. The regret hangs around me like a leaden chain. I don't know. I sit at my desk. It's about 5 minutes until homeroom starts. I stare outside blankly, not wanting to do anything. Oh yeah, Eamon's not here, so I can't. So I'm gonna have to do the voice.
Yo, delinquent, you skipped class yesterday. What the heck were you doing, Tono?
I let out a heavy sigh. Usually I would, but today I don't feel like talking with Arihiko at all.
What's with you? You don't look happy at all. You didn't come to school yesterday, and now you come back an empty shell. If you're like that, school is no fun.
Arihiko slumps her shoulders exaggeratedly. Arihiko, sorry, but can you leave me alone today? If I'm not here, you can always talk with Senpai. Actually, isn't that better for you?
Huh? Senpai? I don't know any third-year students.
What are you saying? Ciel Senpai's in third year, not second. Well, sometimes you think she's younger, but Senpai... Senpai is a senpai after all. Ciel Senpai? Who's that?
Are there any foreign students at our school?
Seriously tilts his head in thought. What are you saying? Senpai is Japanese. No, wait. No one ever said she was Japanese. Well, no one said she was, but everyone called her Ciel Senpai. That's what I'm saying. Who is this senpai? What's wrong, Tono? Are you sick or something? I can't hear his banter. Whew, that's right. When I realized such an obvious inconsistency. Ciel isn't a Japanese name at all. Even though I know her, I don't even know her full name. I don't even know what class she's in. To begin with, when I first met her, why did I feel like I knew her for a long time? My chair clatters as I quickly stand up.
What's wrong, Tono? You've been acting too funny.
I'm going to the office, sorry, but please say I'm here during attendance. Turning away from Arihiko, whose head is tilted in confusion, I dash out of the classroom. I investigate the third-year roster for the name Ciel, but as expected, isn't anywhere to be seen. To be sure, I asked the teachers in the office, but none of them remember Ciel. The end of classes. Being a Saturday, right after homeroom, all my classes scatter and run out of the room. Saturday is finally here, but I don't feel like doing anything. Feeling like the dead, I walk home by myself. Welcome back, Shiki. He greets me as I return. Even though she's waited all this time, I can't even return a greeting and I go to my room. After dinner, I return to my room. It's close to the promised time with Arcueid. Shall I be going? I don't even know if she's coming. But still, I swore never to break a promise again, so I have to go. I arrive at the park shortly before 10. There's absolutely no one here. Sitting on the bench, I stare at the clock and wait for Arcueid to come. Okay, so Eamon told me to pick still wait. So I'll do that. It's now 11 o'clock. The park is completely still, as if entirely frozen. There's no fresh flow of air, nor the presence of anyone approaching. There's no sign of Arcueid coming. Time passes by meaninglessly. I still wait. Both hands on the clock approach to the top of the dial. It's been 2 hours since I came here, yet there's no sign of Arcueid. I still wait. So he told me to select still wait for all of them. So I hope he's, like, making me go out of a bad end or something. The clock's hands point to 12. It's 2 hours since past the promised time. Whew. I slouch on the bench and sigh. She might not come after all. I don't know, but I don't feel like going back. Yeah, I'll wait until the morning. Damn it. I lie on the bench in frustration. And then, huh? Wait a minute. I think I saw a flash of white behind the rest area. Besides, it moves back as soon as I saw it. I stand up from the bench and stride towards the rest area. As if it knew it couldn't hide anymore, the white figure shows his face. Aha, you found me. Arcueid appears more cheerfully than ever. Arcueid, you... What? You really came? I blurt that out because I still can't believe it. Of course, we promised. I came about 10 minutes before you did. She looks the other way. 10 minutes before, but I came before 10 o'clock and she came earlier? Why? If you were here before me, why didn't you just tell me you were waiting there? I wanted to watch you while I was hiding. I see. Even though she doesn't act any different, she must be bothered by what happened last night. That's why she couldn't face me directly and was hiding. Sorry, that's right, it's not that simple. Yeah, you never even knew I was here. I was waiting for you to notice. I was planning on meeting in a different way this time, but you ruined it by just spacing out. Eh? Ruined what? Arcueid, you weren't hiding because you felt awkward? Why? I was a little bored, so I want to play around. He says it lightly, not knowing an inkling of the frustration and I felt. Play around with me, you... The joy I felt from meeting her fades away instantly. It's not a mood where I have to think about what I should do after seeing her. As usual, she's acting at her own pace without even understanding how I feel. I fill my lungs with a deep breath of night air. I'm less angry than surprised. Maybe I'm just relieved she is acting normally. Well, normal for her. As proof, it seems like my heart laden with impurities has just been cleaned anew. Man, you win. Really? I thought you were just zoned out. No, not about the hide-and-go-seek. Oh, well, it's useless putting it into words. I'm glad you came. To be honest, I thought I'd never see you again. Eh? You thought so after only waiting 2 hours? That's not it. It's because of last night. I thought we would never meet again. That won't do, Shaky. I said just forget about it. Arcueid says this weakly. Ah, idiot. I'm such an idiot! I selfishly thought she was acting completely normal, but I was wrong. She's acting that way so I wouldn't feel bad. Sorry. I was an idiot. I don't have any right to yell at you anymore. Okay, somebody's on... Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I had to fix something. Sorry, I was an idiot. I don't have any right to yell at you anymore. I said it's okay. If anyone's to blame, it's me. So just forget about it. Isn't that better for the both of us? She tries to fool us both by speaking cheerfully. Fool us about last night, fool us about how bothered she is. But, telling me to forget with that expression, how can I forget? No, I wasn't apologizing for last night. I'm an idiot because I can't forget about something I should forget. Shiki? Since this morning, all I thought about was you. All I could think about was how I should apologize to you and what I should say after I saw you. So I can't just forget about it now. Arcui looks away. I can't look at her either. After sensing I said something I shouldn't have, I can't look into her eyes now. She doesn't respond. I can't either, and a long silence begins. I don't know how long the two of us stood there. Arcui nods slightly. Yeah, to tell the truth, I couldn't forget about it either, Shiki. Arcui blushes as he says this with some difficulty. Arcui, she looks so cute doing that. As soon as I think that, Arcui looks around her. I don't know when this happened, but we're surrounded by human shapes. What? I can't think since it was so sudden. We're surrounded. Get ready, Shiki. If we don't fight, you'll just die. Fight? If you take off your glasses, you'll get it, won't you? They're the dead without even a finger's worth of normal blood. I quickly take out my knife and take off my glasses. Like she says, the 5 people surrounding us are the scribbled lines making a human shape. Why? You said you killed them all yesterday, Arcade? Yes. These are the ones I destroyed yesterday. She narrows her eyes and glares at them. They advance slowly. Then were they only pretending to be dead? Of course not. I'm not weakened enough to be fooled by such tricks. But the fact that I made a mistake, I can't be excused. I didn't make sure they dissolved into ashes at the end. Shuffle. They close the circle around us. My fingers grasping my knife tremble a bit. To be blunt, there's no pressure coming from these dead. Compared to a monster like Nero, they're practically nothing. But 5 of them. Can I fight this many dead, this many things who are once human? Shiki, if you hesitate, you'll die. They're no longer alive. Once they have their blood sucked by a vampire and become the dead, they can no longer return. They are stalls used by the vampire. There's no sin in killing them. I hear a voice from behind me. It seems like she moved to protect my vulnerable back. Wait, what do you mean? I mean, there are many ways to magically control a dead body. It's easier to infuse a human corpse with magical energy than animals or intangible objects, so it's very convenient. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go over the details. They're coming. I sense her moving away. At the same time, they attack. The shapes of death attack. They simplify forward, arms outstretched. K. I take a huge leap to the side and evade their attack. Then I sense something terrible behind me. Why, you? I whirl around with all my strength. There, one of the dead is trying to punch me. The dead body is almost devoid of places without lines, which lets me slice anywhere on its body. What's more, its movements are incredibly sluggish, far easier than anything that came out of Nero. The dead charge me. I can kill them with ease. Evading the swinging arm, I aim for the first one's unprotected lower left abdomen. In the line of blood vessels there, I stare at the heart call its point. Damn it. Thrash. The knife doesn't reach its target, only slicing through its upraised arm. The one-armed dead doesn't even pause its attack. The other dead also comes in, showing no fear. The one-armed dead attacks. Right when I evade that dead, the other dead jumps on me from behind. Grind. From behind like a piggyback stance. The dead bites on my neck. Not to suck my blood or anything like that. Just a beast trying to kill its prey by biting its neck off. Gah. Can a human mouth bite through a neck? The death's mouth is shallow. Bites with its front teeth rather than its back. As a result, the dead's teeth actually break off. Even still, it tries to bite through my neck with its flat mouth. It doesn't really hurt. It's just disgusting. The one-armed dead walks towards me. I have to kill the dead behind me or I'll die. The method is simple. As it tries to continue biting my neck, I can just slice my knife through its face. But that means I am going to kill. I understand. They aren't human, they aren't even living, but I still feel it's wrong. How naive. Even if they are corpses, they have the shapes of humans and they move like them. It still seems mistaken to kill them as another human being. Shiki? I hear Arceueid's voice as she deals with the other 3 dead. Without thinking, despite the one in front of me, I look over at her, and I see something terribly unbelievable. Arceueid is wounded. Even though They move so slowly and would only take her a second to kill. Arcquid is being pushed by those dead. She breathes heavily. Her footwork is also unsteady, and she's having difficulty evading those attacks even I can evade. The dead rips into her arm. She counters. She tears the body in two from the head to its waist. Both halves crumble to the ground. At the same time, the other waiting shades of death pounce on her. With a crash, she lands on her knees. I can tell she's breathing wildly from this distance. There, the two dead attack. They kick her kneeling figure in the face and makes her collapse on the ground. After that, they carry a dull expression of smile as they get on top of her. Stop. She lies there, arms outspread like a cross, like when I did those disgraceful things to her. Come on, bro. You're gonna bring that up again? Stop it, you fucking bastards. Stab. I cut through the face of the one behind me still trying to bite me. I pierce the lower right abdomen in the one of the front of me, which had strangely paused. That's where its death is. Not even looking at it as it crumbles away, I turn around and kill the faceless dead behind me. I run. The ones around her realize I'm coming up and get up and attack. No problem. I slice through their points of death as they attack me. After it's all over, I start to catch my breath. Gah! The four figures crumble away into ash. The one Arcqueid killed earlier makes 5. Killed. Without hesitating, I stop them completely. I can't think clearly. Probably because regret and admonition are screaming at me. My panting fills the air. But it's still good. It's better than her getting hurt. For the first time with my own free will, with the monotone of Shiki, I use this power for someone else's sake. I keep panting. I can't seem to fully catch my breath. I can hear slight wheezing mixed in with the wild breathing. Arcqueid. Turning around, I see her full of pain and on her knees. Are you okay, Arcqueid? I dash towards her. She's curled up as she breathes like someone who can do nothing else. What's wrong? You're covered in sweat. Did your wound open up? I kneel and try to look at her face. Shiki! However, she has a hand covering it. I can't see her face. All I can see is the bloodshot red eyes through her fingers. Her suffering isn't normal. The way she's breathing intermittently isn't natural. A hungry breath, bloodshot eyes, her waving hair. Chill. Sensing danger, I step back. Yet, far faster than my movement is her teeth closing in to suck my blood. Arcqueid's arms stretch out. Like that, she holds my body. My breath stops in my throat as I call her name. Her bloodshot eyes, her sharp teeth like a beast's. The overwhelming pressure that drains me of any will to resist. What the fuck? Why is she doing that? The thing with its teeth near my neck isn't the woman I know. I can't do anything. I can't even lift a finger. I'm going to be eaten. This is what it means to be prey upon. Her teeth push against my neck. The only thing filling my mind is fear. Hi! A shriek comes out. I'm listening for an instant how pitiful it is for me to make such a sound. Maybe it was just my imagination, but it feels like she freezes in place. Before I can even confirm this, wham! A violent explosion erupts, and before me, an Arcqueid's body is smashed sideways. What? As she was hit by a car, she was blown back several meters, but she gets up like it was nothing. I stands there stunned. I can't even think what to do either. And there, you were going to suck his blood. A cold, scolding voice. That is your true nature, Arcqueid Brunstad. The merciless voice towers from above. I look up at the moon. Oh. There stands the robed figure from that one night. Senpai. There's no mistake. No matter how I look at it, it's Ciel. She doesn't even look at me, but she glares at Arcqueid, crouching far away. Even if you destroy your kin, you cannot change the fact you are a vampire yourself. I don't know why you drew him this close to you, but didn't you think it would end this way? Her voice is completely different than normal. Neither strict nor kind. Her motionless voice is horribly devoid of any humanity. Without making a noise, Senpai descends from the streetlight to the ground. Usually it's nothing I mess with, but I will not overlook you trying to kill an ordinary person. It isn't part of the plan to fight you, but if there is a need, we can settle our score. Don't be ridiculous. I don't want anything to do with you. And? She looks at Senpai hatefully. I never intended to kill him. That does not sound convincing at all. It's not like you don't realize what you did earlier, what kind of yell he gave out when he saw you. I don't care if you hate me, but you took your insanity directed at him. Shall we ask him how he felt? With a turn of her head, Senpai casts a gaze at me for the first time. Arcui averts her gaze painfully. Silence fills the park. A footstep. The robed senpai only takes one step towards me. Get back, vampire. You had no right to stay by his side from the beginning. What? That's not true. I don't know who senpai is or what happened to Arcueid either earlier, but I can at least declare this. Because I want to be by your side. You're wrong. What's with you coming out of nowhere wearing weird clothes and speaking like you understand everything? Arcueid is definitely a vampire, but he hasn't drunk blood even once. That was probably just a joke, and you don't have any right to. Please be quiet, Tono. She hasn't drank blood even once. Yes, certainly these past 800 years, there's no record of her having any victims. However, just shut up. I don't care to listen to whatever strange story you have to say. Look, if you try to get in her way, I'll not forgive you. After all, I'm helping her because I want to. It's not none of your business to interfere. Tono, you... An inkling of emotion enters her voice. I understand. If you say so, then I won't do anything else. However, Senpai changes her gaze to Arcueid. Arcueid looks away, not at me or Senpai. As he said, Arcueid Brunstad, you still intend to be by his side after this? Arcueid doesn't answer. She raises her head to look at me once, and then runs off into the night. Why are you leaving, Arcueid? I start to run after her, but... My feet don't leave the ground. Senpai walks slowly over to me. I won't let you follow her. I can't let you be killed, Tono. In her hands are thin rod-like blades. One of them stands by my feet, pinning my shadow to the ground. You cannot move until that is removed. No matter how hard you struggle, your shadow will struggle just as hard not to separate from you. Stop fooling around. I'll lose her. I grip the blade below me. No matter what, I can't pull it out. I forgot to mention this, but I'm the only one who can remove it, so please get up. Please give up. Saying that, she stops in front of me. I glare at her. She takes in my gaze, then sighs. Geez, really, why do you go overboard so much, Tono? Huh? Senpai? I know. I don't hate her myself, but this is for both of your sakes. We'll let you go soon, so please listen to what I have to say for a while. She looks up hesitantly. This is a leisurely senpai I know from school. Is that why... Even though I still can't grasp the situation, I start to calm down. This is abrupt, so I'm prepared for you to hate me. But I have something I have to tell you. Very sorry restraining you like this. Senpai bows her head. She's dressed strange, but Senpai is still Senpai. It's okay. I'm not angry, so please don't apologize. You've already helped me once, and I want to ask you some things as well. That does help, but what would you like to ask me? Isn't it obvious? Just who are you? Dressed like that and smashing away Arcueid, I'm the one who only remembers you at school. Senpai gives a silent response. Then let me ask, Tono, what do you think about me? I've only heard some things from Arcueid about the church and stuff. That's right. So you know I'm an exorcist of the church. My specialty is... Oops. Okay, we're gonna have to cut that. That's right. As you know, I'm an exorcist of the church. My specialty is hunting vampires. I can't answer anything else, but I think that is enough for you. Enough? Why would someone like you even come to my school? If you wanted to exterminate vampires, wouldn't you be searching the city like Arcueid? No, there was a reason for me coming to your school, Tono. Right, since this overlaps with the talk I want to give, I will ask the questions from now on. Tono, you seem to have teamed up with her, but do you know anything about what she's after? Yeah? Well, I heard she's the old type of vampire who drinks the blood of humans to expand his territory. Seems you know about the two main classifications of vampires. Then I think you know about how he is imperfectly immortal. Yeah, about how he needs to drink blood to maintain his body. But on the other hand, as long as he can drink blood, he'll never age, right? Yeah, but you can't say he's immortal in the end, can you? Besides, there are ones for whom drinking blood does not maintain their body fully, and there are some that are exterminated by us. You can't call something that can die like that immortal. Well, certainly he's not immune to death. I don't know what Senpai's trying to get at here. Is this related why you came to my school? Of course. Geez, please wait until I'm finished. But, okay, but if you could give me the short version, I'd appreciate it. Oh, really? If that's the case, then I'll explain as directly as I can. Senpai seems a little disappointed. Then, a simple explanation. Anyway, the immortal of the vampires known as death apostles is very unstable. For them is a merely prolongation of their lifespans many times that of normal people. A question. Not only are their lifespans long, but they also have unnatural powers. Is there any relation? Not really. Their individual powers are things they had when they were human, strengthened over hundreds of years. Continuing their studies from their human lives gives them these extraordinary powers. The dead apostles each have different goals. What they each decide to study is different. Because of that, there was one who seriously studied immortality. He became immortal, yet he still researched it? Yes. The instant the dead apostles became vampires, they assumed they have reached the limit of immortality as humans. However, he felt that it was just a degeneration. He did not want something so imperfect, and he wanted to come up with a more perfect immortality. Senpai seems to be more engaged. But as long as something has shape, it cannot but perish. There isn't anything that can withstand the passage of time. Vampires merely have a resistance higher than that of humans. Anything living internalizes death the moment it is born, even in possession of a body which does not age. As long as it exists, it cannot escape death. To escape death is to die. This contradiction is a problem that cannot be solved. Yeah, everyone has death within them. If there's someone who doesn't, then that's probably something that's never existed. Probably something that never existed in the first place. Even Arcueid can die during the day. There can't be anything that cannot die in this world. That's the reason, but he concluded that if he could preserve his existence after death, then he would be immortal. It isn't in our doctrine, but it's what you call a reincarnation. Even if you die, you could preserve your sense of self and start over again as a new human that would be eluding death. Well, when he isn't completely annihilated, he isn't dead, so it's not actually quite eluding death. Reincarnation, if you mean if he dies, he will start over as a baby? Yes. While he's alive, he chooses his next host, and when it is born, he transmits all of the information of his self. His information stays deep within the baby until it matures, or until it gains its intelligence as his own. As soon as that baby has the intelligence to succeed his self, the baby becomes a new vampire that is him. Wait a minute, what's that? Don't tell me that he does surgery on it while it's in the mother or something like that. No, it's not anything medical. Because the instant his body is destroyed, he reincarnates into the body he chose as his next body. I said all of his information earlier, but to use simpler terms, I think of it as his soul. It wouldn't be quite incorrect to say his soul propagates through the air and takes over someone's body, but it's similar to an electromagnetic wave. In this case, the human brain is what does the transmitting and the receiving. His exceptional point is that he took his soul, which is incalculable, and something that disperses as soon as it leaves the envelope of its body, and processed it as something that could be transmitted. Sorry, Senpai. I can't see how this relates to you coming to my school. It is related, because this reincarnating vampire is in your school, Tono. Huh? The vampire I'm pursuing and the vampire Arcreid is pursuing are the same. Although she's probably only referred to him as the enemy. I nod silently. Certainly she's only used the word enemy, but she never told me anything about him. Her duty was to kill vampires, but since he appeared, he only pursued him. He has reincarnated 17 times already, since he has destroyed him every time. But even if he dies, he will just be reborn, right? Isn't that pointless? Yes. He's killed by her, reincarnates each time, and is killed again by her. That cycle has been repeated over and over. If she, Arcreid, had the power to kill not the body, but the meaning, then this probably would not be happening. Senpai looks down a little, and it seems like she is gritting her teeth. I don't know why. However, it appears that Senpai also has some grudge against the enemy, like Arcreid does. Senpai, what kind of vampire is he? He was originally a man, but that can change depending on his body he reincarnates to. The troublesome part of this dead apostle is that his incarnations are hard to find. Because he is properly born as a human baby and has parents. Ugh. He transforms into a vampire only when he reaches the age where he can do everything at a satisfactory level. I'm told that human shows no hint of being a vampire. But once he awakens, he uses the relationships he gained until that time to blend perfectly into society. I heard that the church detects his presence usually after a whole town has turned to the dead. Wait a minute. Well, then this new host, he wouldn't ever realize he's a vampire until he awakens? Yes, but it isn't like two people sharing the one body. The baby born as a human is still him. Depending on its environment, it's a good or bad person. But even that, the instant it awakes, he goes away. To sum it up, once he dies, he is reborn into the next body, and once that body gains intelligence, it gains the previous life's self and becomes a vampire. What is it? Just hearing this, it's terribly scary. That's strange. I don't really understand it, but it's strange. Because what you call vampires, they don't just suddenly become vampires, right? So even their old self awakens, wouldn't the body still remain human? No, reincarnation isn't the transmitting of personality, it's the transmission of the soul. Once bitten by a true ancestor, not just the body, but the soul is forever soiled. He transmits all of his information called his soul next to his self. So when he awakens, the body becomes one of a vampire, but what? As he said, just that is too weak. So he selects his next host while he's alive. The family he's born into must meet two conditions, the first one being one of wealth. Being born into a family of high social standing, property, and money makes it easier to make the whole town into vampires later on. And there's another requirement. This is the important one, but amongst normal people like us, there are also people that carry special powers. Not like magic, which is a mystic power that can be learned, but rather special abilities from birth. Such people are normally called demonic children or psychics. These special abilities are genetic, so they have inherited, passed on by blood. He chooses these families that have something not human in their lineages. A family with wealth and influence and inhuman power. Those are the requirements for his host, Tono. There's still something weird. I think that story's weird. What's weird is that Senpai's telling me this story. His name. Yes? Did you say something? His name! You keep saying enemy and him, but how can I understand that? Can you tell me his name? I yell at her, not even knowing why I'm angry. She doesn't look fluttered at all. She only looks at me sympathetically. No problem. Among the dead apostles, he is known as the Serpent of Akasha. This is due to the serpent being the symbol of affinity and cycles. Shedding its skin and getting a new body, it was perfect for his name. On the other hand, he is recorded in the church as the infinite reincarnator. His human name is Michael Roa Valdamjong. He's also simply referred to as Roa. Roa. Never heard of it, of course. It's not like I've ever met him. Short, you came to my school because you knew Roa was there? Yeah. It was truly a sketchy feeling, but I knew this incarnation of Roa was there. I can sense Roa far better than Arcreid. That's why I came here much earlier than Arcreid and already found out who his new host is. The voice stops for some reason. Senpai looks at me sympathetically like before. I explained this before, but Roa chooses fine lineages and excellent bodies for his next host. So once you find out Roa is in this place, the answer comes naturally when you investigate the families which meets his criteria. In this area, there is only one old family that meets this criteria. I don't have to say any more, do I, Tono? That's why. That's why I'm saying this conversation is weird. Huh. Ha ha ha. Ow, fuck, that hurt my throat. Ugh. One laughing dryly. What are you saying, Senpai? That can't be. Senpai doesn't answer. Almost as if she is saying that I am this heroic host. But there can be no doubt. Tono family has something different in its blood. It has power and this Latin superhuman ability that Roa needs. The power you used to defeat the dead earlier wasn't human. So this time Roa's host is unmistakably Tono Shiki. I don't understand. I don't understand a single thing she says. Why? Why can you be so certain, Senpai? What? Because I'm the one who decided all this. She says something I can't understand once more. What? But it's different. You were the one killed, yet you were the one who survived? The one killed and survived and the one who killed is dead. I think all the mistakes began there. She says so she's on the verge mentally. Senpai pulls a sword from the ground by my feet. That is all I had to tell you. I'll leave the rest to you to decide, Tono. Leave it to me? But according to your story, to be honest, I don't know either. You're an incredibly ordinary person, like a student you could find anywhere. My intuition has to be wrong, because you are someone who shouldn't be in a world like mine. With a sad smile, Senpai leaps an incredible distance from me, as if trying to tell me she's someone else now, an unreachable far distance. I still can't leave Arcueid alone. Unless I chase after her now, I feel like I'll never see her again. You're going after her, Tono? Senpai's voice returns to the way it was when she drove off Arcueid. An inflectionless voice devoid of emotion. Yeah, because you're a person of the church. I know she's an enemy of yours. But a lot of things have happened, and I agreed to help her, so I have to look for her. I don't know what she'll do if I leave her by herself. Laughing as if it was a joke, I tell her later and turn around. Please wait. If you go after her, you will only get killed. You must not see Arcueid Broomstead again. Only get killed? Well, you may not believe me, but she really doesn't suck blood. She's quite a good person, actually. I know, certainly she hasn't drunk human blood. However, that's at an end. A true ancestor who gives into the vampiric impulse once can only fall downward from there. My feet freeze in place. And hi? True ancestor vampiric impulse. What do you mean? I mean the desire to drink blood. Tono. The vampires called dead apostles mostly became vampires after a vampire sucked their blood. To preserve their bodies, they need the blood of humans. In other words, they can't escape drinking blood if they want to live. But the ones that were vampires from the beginning are different. The dead apostles were originally humans like us, so maybe you can still call them human. However, if someone is born a vampire, you can call it human? What are you saying, Senpai? I'm asking about Arcueid. This is about her. I won't let you say you never thought about it. If the dead apostles became vampires from vampires, then there has to be an origin, existence that have... Oh my god. So much fucking reading. Anyways. If dead apostles become vampires from vampires, there has to be an origin, an existence that is a vampire from the beginning. These vampires that are completely different species from us we call the true ancestors, those who don't need human blood and have special powers equivalent to, surpassing the dead apostles. She's a member of the royal family of the true ancestors, although they don't really have any rank structure, so saying royal isn't quite accurate. So what, Senpai? This conversation, this doesn't have anything to do with me. It does. These vampires known as the true ancestors have a deeper impulse to drink blood than the dead apostles. Her eyes are completely emotionless. Like mirrors, they show my agitated face. Do you see, Tono? The true ancestors can live without human blood. However, maybe a mistake happened in their evolution, or maybe there's no such thing as a perfect existence. But anyway, there's a period when they desire the blood of humans. The instant a human has his blood drunk by them, he no longer remains human. True ancestors are on a scale different from humans as creatures. When the powerful life of a true ancestor touches the blood of a human, the sheer difference means a human cannot remain human after such contact. Like a small wave absorbed into a larger wave, that person becomes a part of the true ancestor. To simplify, it becomes a doll. The problem is there's no reason for their vampiric impulses. There's no reason, so there's no way to stop it. The fatal flaw in an otherwise perfect existence. You can call it a terminal illness. Anyway, they live by resisting their urge to drink blood. It isn't a matter of using the mind to put up with it. They use all their powers to resist this urge and seal it within themselves by force. By using their enormous power on themselves, they are suppressing the vampiric impulse. But if something external causes them to lose their power, what do you think happens to their ability to suppress it? If something external causes them to lose power, such as receiving a wound which requires power to heal, or using power to regenerate after being killed completely. So let's say she has 10 units of power, and she uses 7 of them to resist the urge to drink blood inside her. But if for some reason she loses 5 out of the 10 units, then even if she uses all her remaining power, she can only use 5 units of power to resist. It's not enough. Then what will it take away from her? And what happens to those true ancestors who couldn't resist, Senpai? They drink even blood. After that, nothing. Once they give in, they can only keep on falling. Once a true ancestor knows the taste of blood, I hear the urge becomes many times more painful than before. As a result, they aren't able to resist the urge anymore. And when that happens, they become the dreaded demon lords. True ancestors are certainly a superior race, but since they bind themselves to resist the vampiric impulse, they can never utilize their full powers. But once they fall, there's no longer the need to restrain themselves. Then they just become demons which suck human blood for their own pleasure. I remember how Arcueid appeared earlier. Her bloodshot eyes, her wild breathing, her breath assailing my neck. Lies. That's a lie, because she certainly said she's scared of drinking blood. Oh, yeah, she's scared, because once she does it, she knows she won't be able to stop. If there's any salvation, that is the urge, it is that the urge is instantaneous. The true ancestors keep just one subordinate for the time the urge gets too great to suppress. That's the beginning of those called the dead apostles. They are something that is already dead, a vampire kept alive for the sake of easing the pain of the true ancestors. That is the form of the vampire in the city, but she doesn't have such a thing. No, until now she never needed one. Special among all the true ancestors, she was able to resist the vampiric impulse using her will alone. Then there's no problem. Once her wound heals, once her body returns to normal, she can resist it, right? Technically, but there's a limit, Tono. The vampiric impulse has no end and will not go away. The resisted urges, which build again and again, will eventually overflow their vessel. The longer they live, the larger the vampiric impulse in them gets. And when they can no longer restrain themselves with their own power, when the impulse overwhelms their power, their lives are ended by others. That is the lifespan of those without lifespans. But Arcueid is okay. She's just weak because of me, so after a few old days she'll... Perhaps. But she's reached her limit already. Even though she was only actually active for a few years, the amount of time of her existence does not change. The urge which has grown inside her will soon consume her. There's no denying that now it's not the time. Arcueid's life cannot be saved. Thump. For the first time, not because of my anemia, but someone else's words. Everything starts to fade away in a haze of dizziness. What does it mean? Even though she knows she's past her limit, she's still hunting vampires here? That's odd. No matter how much I think of it, it's odd. It's all lies. Because if she knew she's at her limit, then why would she hunt vampires for our sake? She deals with them not for our sakes, but because it is for her purpose. Purpose. Who decided that? Probably the other true ancestors. She was born in the 12th century when there were many fallen true ancestors. The true ancestor could not ignore the fallen kin nor the dead apostles increasing in number. That's why they created something solely for killing, without a need for anything else. The most pure true ancestor created for punishment. That is the true ancestor called Arcueid. She's like a nuclear missile without a mind of its own. Once she leaves the castle, her target is definitely destroyed. Thump. This dizziness again. She should stop saying that. She's a person. Talking about her like she's just some sort of weapon makes me mad. No, she is a weapon. In the first place, she existed only for that purpose. So it seems there is now something wrong with her. It's the first time I've seen her talk like that. She's never spoke any words before. Huh? Hold on. Never spoke. That's odd, because she never does anything extra. From long ago, for the past hundreds of years, she has lived that way. Ever since she was born in the old castle amongst the mountains, never changing. Thump. My heartbeat and this dark dizziness. What is this? This unknown scenery, these memories I've never had, they start to fill my vision. The wide castle courtyard. The unadorned grassy field inside the solitary castle. The white girl stares blankly up at the sky. She did not have any extra knowledge or freedom beyond what was needed for her purpose. She only goes outside when her target is determined. She only gets taught the information needed to definitely destroy the enemy. No one is there, no one to talk to, not even another face to see. After killing her target and when she returns to the castle, her taught knowledge is washed out and she is taken to sleep. Without knowing anything, nothing other than killing vampires. There's nothing. Such is the fun of speaking with someone else. The precious moments of seeing someone else and greeting them. She was excluded from all of it. Her power was strong enough to defeat the fallen true ancestors. But it's ironic. She was so powerful that she was shunned by the rest of the true ancestors. Even while praising her as a princess, no one approached her. Even while giving her a castle, her world was only the dark basement. So there was nothing to give her any feelings. That's almost enough to make me pity her for living a parody of life. She apparently had no words or even time of her own. The true ancestors treat her only as a weapon. A weapon has sorry. A weapon has no need for extra functions such as baking bread or doing laundry. If you're going to put on extra functions, you would put on something more fit for a weapon, right? I was always taught never to do extra things. Yeah, she has said that before. The reason for deciding everything for herself, for having those empty eyes. That's why she never needed anyone else. No, maybe she never knew about it. All they wanted of her was to be a superior killing machine. That's why she doesn't know anything. I don't mean something big like the meaning of life, but not even the small joy of just living normally. She was always so cheerful, even trivial things made her so happy. So I thought she was always like that. But I was horribly wrong. She was really just enjoying those simple things. She must have enjoyed those things so much, because it's so fun. I never thought about how life could be fun just by living. Like it was an uneasiness she couldn't understand. The classroom filled with the red setting sun where she asked me those questions with a reserved voice. Even though Arcweid has existed for so long, she knows less about living than we do. If you convert it to the time she is allowed to move freely, it is amazingly short. Her lifetime is spent almost entirely in sleep. Most likely a deep, dark sleep. Really? I have enough fun just talking, you know. After dealing with all the fallen true ancestors, she did not leave the castle. Having fulfilled her purpose, the true ancestors sought to educate her properly. However, she could not be free. Because of a slight mistake, she ended up killing all the true ancestors remaining in the castle. Maybe the one that was taught how to kill vampires really did finish her job until the very end. In the end, she was left alone. After killing all the true ancestors, she sealed herself up in the castle. In the empty castle of the true ancestors, bound with 1,000 chains. Whenever Ro is reborn, she awakens from her sleep and moves around for a short time. In the middle of that fixed world, she never said a single word. That's why she a killer down to her very core. Even though the true ancestors which bound her are now gone, she still wanders around with the sole purpose of killing vampires. She probably does not have any other fun. That's a lie. It's not what made her happy. I wasn't watching anything. Like her words or her happy face. If I only looked closer, I would have known of it. I never realized how alone she was until now. All the things we feel and take for granted, such as talking with a friend about meaningless things or the fun that lets you forget time. At the end of the day, lying down on a bed in the peacefulness of just staring at the ceiling. To her, those unimportant things were priceless moments of happiness. All of it. What is misery? It's her not even knowing how miserable she is. Such a terrible, almost comical solitude should not exist. Lies, all of it. Enough with all these difficult things. I never knew she felt such happiness from trivial things. If only I could let her know that such things she could always enjoy. That would have been such a great... Tono? Her voice returns my vision to normal. What's wrong? You suddenly went quiet and spaced out. Were you listening? No, sorry, I don't remember. I heard you speaking, but it felt like someone else was talking. Senpai nods doubtfully. In other words, It's okay. I don't care what she did or what she's like. I can't leave her alone any longer, so I'll be going. Turning away from Senpai, I walk towards the city. Tono, once a true answer fails to suppress the vampiric impulse, there is no hope for recovery. If she appears in front of you, it means she came to drink your blood. I think what she says is the truth for her, but it's a different truth than mine. That's not true, because she hasn't drunk blood yet. No, if I had not stopped her, she would have drunk your blood. You're wrong, because she stopped. Arcwood was fine. That's why even if you didn't stop her, the result would have been the same. Yes, certainly. She stopped right then. So you're going to be on her side no matter what, Tono? Yeah. Sorry, Senpai. Senpai doesn't answer. I think I hear her sigh. We may end up fighting, you know. Maybe. But I don't want to apologize. There's no response. Just a presence getting farther away. Disappearing footsteps. Without turning around, I head towards town, shrouded by night. There's no one on the main street. Not Arcade, not even just regular people. Damn. This is the same as last night. I don't have any way of finding her. Right now, even though I just want to see her so badly, I don't have any means. Even though she's in so much pain, I can't help her at all. Damn it. I'm so irritated, it drives me nuts. Somehow, I have to find her somehow. Or else I can't move forward, I guess painfully. Even though I ran through all the city, I still don't see her. My body is exhausted and I can't get enough air. I breathe harder. The scar on my chest throbs with my heartbeat. Until now, I've never hated this fragile body this much. I hungrily breathe in air. I can't find her. I won't find her just running around aimlessly like this. I struggle for breath. If I... Oh. What do you say? If I have any chance of finding her, it would be... Okay, so... Eamon told me to... Eamon told me to do this choice earlier. So, I guess I'll do it. I'll stay here. We promised. We promised to meet here. We still haven't fulfilled our promise for tonight, to meet here and to fight together. So, if I can't break this promise and she thinks it's important too, Arcade will come back here. I can only continue to believe in her and wait here. Time passes by. The clock ticks mechanically, recording the passing of each second. I feel like I'm drowning. My body doesn't want to wait a minute longer. Just sitting here waiting seems like the utmost in idiocy, and I want to run off and search for her again. But my heart is calm. Even though my body urges me to hurry, my heart remains calm. I continue waiting, staring up at the moon. It's horribly quiet. No sounds, as if the night froze everything. Still quietness, as if Arcue and I were the only ones in the entire world. If I can stay in such a place, then it isn't painful at all to wait for any amount of time. So, right now I'm drowning in bliss. Only time passes by. Just 2 hours until dawn. If the day breaks, Arcue and I will probably never see each other again. And time just passes by. And then, like a white rabbit in the snow, she unexpectedly arrives in the park. Arcade doesn't say anything. With downcast eyes, she doesn't make a move to come closer. Arcade. I call out to her. She doesn't respond or even look in my direction. I can't speak. I don't know what I can say to make her smile again. Right now, I feel like any words coming out of my mouth will only make her sadder. Time seems to stretch to eternity. In reality, the ticking of the clock can't have happened even close to 1,000 times. Arcade lifts her head, looking like she's watching a dream. You wouldn't go home at all, Shiki. So I came here because I couldn't leave you alone, even though I was really thinking of going back to my room. She hesitates as she speaks, but she says this in her usual cheerful manner. Of course I wouldn't go back. Didn't I say I'd keep my promise? I still haven't been any help tonight. That's enough. You don't have to do that anymore. Enough? Just what's enough, Arcade? Doesn't it go without saying? It's just that I'm a vampire and you're a human, Shiki. I didn't have any right to receive help from you. I didn't understand that either earlier, and I would have ruined you if I went a bit farther. That's why. It's enough, she whispers. What are you saying all of a sudden? I was ready for that from the time I agreed to help you. I understood far better than you that you were a vampire. Knowing that, I still said I'd help you. This is nothing I can agree with. Arcquaid, you don't need to worry about what happened earlier. You were just tired and weak. I'm an idiot, so I couldn't realize you're a lie. You weren't in pain because of your wounds, but because of your vampiric impulses, right? Senpai told me all about it. That woman. Since when did agents from the Burial NG become so talkative? Less with hate and more with exhaustion? Arcquaid gives a deep sigh. I heard it all from Senpai, so I'll be direct. I don't see any problem, Arcquaid. You're in pain now, but you'll return to normal in a few days, right? So you don't need to worry. And about before, even though you were in so much pain, you held yourself back, didn't you? So it's alright. Let's just continue like we were until now. With some difficulty, Arcquaid smiles weakly. Shiki, you don't understand at all. It's useless to do this. Even now I want to drink your blood. But you only think that. Then try hard and resist it. Haven't you tried so hard like that until now? That's true. Until now I've held myself back. I was able to. But I guess it's useless now. Even though the only meaning for my existence is to hunt other vampires, I do a lot of extra things. If I didn't know anything, I would have never thought of wanting anything. If I didn't rely on you and pursued the enemy by myself, it would have been alright. It would have been okay if she was by herself? Is she serious? Did she seriously believe that? With such a sad face, with such a sad voice, with such a solitary appearance and on the verge of collapse. That just pisses me off. Snap out of it, you idiot. What? Don't be ridiculous. What do you mean if you pursued the enemy by yourself, it would have been alright? Because it was impossible by yourself. Because you finally realized there are things that you can't do by yourself. You asked me for help, right? Then rely on me until the very end. I'll help you. No matter what happens, I'll help you, so don't look like that. Don't say those things. Finally, you realize that life is fun. Please don't simply give up on such happiness. Shiki, are you crying? Like hell I am. Why would I cry over you? It's just she's saying such stupid things. Makes me so angry, and my emotions are going crazy. Anyway, we'll continue searching for this vampire, okay? If we can free this rogue guy, then you can get some rest. Then everything's solved. There aren't any problems at all. Terribly peaceful eyes, she gives a quiet nod. But it's too late for me, Shiki. You said I held myself back before, but I really didn't. Back then, I only stopped because you became afraid of me. Many people been afraid of me like a monster, so I didn't feel anything when hated or feared. But it really is strange, you know? I really didn't want you to look at me like I was a monster, but I am a monster no matter how you look at me. She forces out a dry laugh. No, it just happened so fast, I was surprised. That's a lie. That's a lie I can't even fool myself with. Arcquaid painfully looks away. Sensei told me before that you only hurt the other person when you tell lies that you can't even deceive yourself with. That's why I stopped for an instant. I was scared of you looking at me like that. I would break apart if you look at me like that in the future too. So I won't see you anymore. What? Let's say goodbye here, Shiki. Probably associate too much with each other. She turns around swiftly. She says this while trying not to look at me. Associated too much, huh? Maybe that's true. For both me and Arcquaid, if we never knew much about each other, this would have never happened. I would just return to my normal life, and she'd probably kept going by herself. You're right. Maybe I've associated too much already, but I think we're fine like that, because it isn't always being by yourself lonely. Arcquaid doesn't answer. She looks so vulnerable. I want to embrace her and support her. To be honest, I really enjoyed these past few days. I almost died, but it wasn't all that bad. So let me help you until the very end. How could I sleep if I knew I left you alone? No, you don't have to worry about me. I will kill Roa no matter what. I'll destroy him even if it kills me. You've done enough already, Shiki. The city will soon return to normal, so you don't have to worry anymore. Her voice, as she fades away from me, has no trace of her usual brightness. I can't bear this anymore. I'm gonna stop acting like this. Idiot. That's not what I'm worried about. Saying that, I draw closer to her. Arcquaid tries to escape. I grab her arm from behind and make her turn around. Shiki, since you don't understand me unless I'm direct, I'll be direct. Look, I didn't agree to help you to stop the vampire in the city. I really don't have any fine ideals such as protecting the city I live in. Right, I was only fooling myself. The reason isn't anywhere near being to that noble. I just like you. I wanted to help you, so I agreed to help you. So now I just can't leave you. I reveal it all and embrace Arcud straight on. Oh, her gasp isn't one of resistance. She simply stands there in astonishment, accepting my embrace. Thump. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to drink my blood. Cheeky, it hurts. My arms hurt. I'll make it even, because I've always wanted you too. Even now I'm consumed with passion just hearing your heartbeat. Thump. From her arms I hold, from her body up against mine, I can feel the beating of her heart. No, Shiki, that's just... For right now, it's only a whim of yours. Thump. Thump, thump! Just hearing the sound makes me want to hug her to death. Even so, if I love you right now, Arcade, that is my truth. I don't care about what happens later. Thump. Or, do you hate me? Thump. The heartbeat skips. No, I can't answer that. No. Or, fuck. The heartbeat stops. In its place, her arms wrap around my back like falling rain. At first, just gently, then hard as if answering me. Her arms squeeze my body into hers. Our embrace lasted only an instant. I don't even know which one of us separated first, but as if we planned it, we both let go. She blushes, looking away. There's only about an hour until dawn. As the night ends, so does ARCUEID'S time. But I can't bear parting with her anymore. If it can be forgiven, right now I want to... My room. Eh? Can we go to my room? If you're saying you're going to protect me, I don't want you to go back. That's a hesitant voice. Even I can understand what she means. Nodding wordlessly, I walk with ARCUEID to her room. I enter before her. Behind me, I can sense ARCUEID. If I turn around, I know my feelings will rise out of control, but still, my mind is almost surprisingly calm. I don't quite understand myself, but perhaps it is a contradicting impulse of being insane. Impulse of being insane yet sane that loving someone brings. ARCUEID. I try to turn around. Before I finish, I feel her hand lightly rest on my back. Don't turn around. Wait, just like this for a while. Her voice is exceedingly calm. The hand on my back doesn't move, as if making sure of something. Hey, Shiki, do you remember when I first waited for you? Yeah, I remember. The one I killed was waiting with a smiling face. How could I forget? Yeah, back then I really hated you. Despite her words, her voice is very gentle. ARCUEID? I knew I wouldn't be able to suppress my vampiric impulse by myself any longer, and this probably would be my chance, and I pursued Roa. I thought I finally found him, and then someone I didn't even know killed me and ruined everything. Back then, all I could feel was hatred, and then I found the one who killed me and waited that road for such a long time. I was thinking you should just hurry up. Hurry up and come here. Once I saw you, I'd make you suffer the same fate. I really did hate you. I hated you so much I thought my chest would burst from hatred as I waited. The pressure on my back increases. ARCUEID? But no one has ever killed me like that before. I was a bit curious about what kind of person you were too. And I never thought so strongly about someone before. In the beginning, it was just hatred, but it started to slip when I wonder what kind of human you were. Soon, I wanted to meet you and find more out about you. The one who killed me like that, and the first time I almost lost track of myself, and I kept wondering. Shiki, what you said before about how being by yourself is lonely. I thought that wasn't true, but when I waited for you, the one who I madly thought about, I felt happy. I want to meet you right away, but it turned out great that I held on and waited for you. It was really fun. I was so excited, I kept imagining what kind of person you were. She pulls her hand from my back. Thinking back, I started to feel the need for someone else from that time, and I felt unsatisfied with just being by myself. You said you liked me, but I think I fell in love with you before we even met. Her voice is just so lovely. There's no need for hesitation. Turning around, I embrace her. Our lips come together naturally. I don't know who started it, maybe we both did. We just did it gently, because to feel each other's presence just a bit closer. Ha ha! Holding my breath, feeling the sound. Her soft lips, skin I would never touch anything, is touching me right now. Just thinking about it makes my head spin, yet touching her is so warm and relaxing. Her body is trembling lightly, but she doesn't seem to be scared at all. Her closed eyes, the shade of red on her cheeks is so adorable. I really can't believe it. This ARCUEID is the one I love so much. I couldn't even imagine doing that. I couldn't even imagine that just doing this would make me feel more love toward her. We pulled back. Still holding each other, we looked at each other in embarrassment. That was a kiss, wasn't it? She says it with a deep blush. her red eyes looking up at me imploringly, her golden hair waving before my eyes. Arcweid, you don't like this kind of thing? That's not it. My heart's beating fast right now. Oh, certainly her heart is beating loudly. Or is it my heartbeat? She looks straight into my eyes. But this is troubling. I'm wondering if this is really okay? Is what okay? Because there aren't any vampires that kiss. Blushing, she smiles embarrassingly. That gesture was checkmate. What the fuck? Sorry. Take out my glasses, I embrace her once more. One more time. Not the mutual kiss before. I do a hungry, searching, stealing kiss. Arcweid sucks in a breath. I don't care. I just can't hold anything back and kiss her deeply. Arcweid tries to breathe in. I steal even that. I lift her chin and hold her head, covering her... Oh. Sure, I just get... We're covering the lips with mine and turning her tongue. I want to become one. Past her lips. My tongue easily dips into her mouth. The sounds we make, the sensations of our touching tongues easily lets me imagine what we look like. As her tongue tries to pull away, I wrap mine around it. Wrapping, intertwining, sucking. The sensation of the tip of my tongue is almost ticklish, but the sucking on the base of my... Okay. I'm just gonna... I'm able to breathe, yeah. Her white stomach moves and crying for action at the same time. Max out, veins, and anything before, pleasure for room breathing. At some point, her mouth, which is seeking oxygen, and another tongue with mine. I realized that was my own voice. I can't believe it. Someone else's tongue entering my mouth. Alright, I just want to skip this. Okay, it's just... Okay, finally, I get to... And like that... But wanting everything to come together, I pull back. The reason I fucking skipped that, just because it was so... Just because it was boring. It kept talking about that, and also I just didn't want anybody to walk into my room and see that. So, I gasped for air. My chest hurts. I don't know how long we were like that. I can even breathe properly. But, even more than that, I want to touch her body and feel her against me. Shaky? Concerned Arcweid looks into my face, her blushing, hesitant expression. Arcweid. I can't stop. I hold her tight. I want to sleep with you. I want you. At first she gives no answer, then keeping her head down, her entire face goes red as she nods. Okay, I might want to skip this. More of the sensation of embarrassing questions. Guess I still can't. Guess I'm doing my best to only keeping up with her. Actually, I'm not sure a day will come where I can be calm about... What? Even today, I don't remember much about what I did. I can remember how good it all felt. Tiredness is any indication of how good it was. I'm so exhausted I can't even walk now. Wah! Hurrah! Stifling a yawn, I look down at her sleeping face. I really do... Okay. Right? Might be a different form than the love I'm feeling, but Arcweid needs me too. Just that makes me extremely happy. Not the fact that I'm needed, but for her, who until now was left alone, for her to need someone else makes me happy. And, with this, you're not alone anymore, Arcweid. Irene starts to sway a little. Seems I'm getting sleepy too. Lying down on my back next to her, I take a deep breath. Like that, I sink into a deep sleep. In the midst of a deep sleep, I have a dream where Arcweid wakes up before me and is doing something terrible. Arcweid is rustling about by herself. What are you doing? I ask. Oh, you're awake, Shiki? Not really. I'm more asleep than awake. Thanks to you, my body isn't quite doing what I tell it to. I see. I'm flattered, but it's a bit embarrassing. Arcweid smiles like a little girl. I think it's strange for me to know what she looks like when I decide to have my eyes closed, but since she looks so happy, I decide to ignore such a trivial thing. Hey, Shiki? What is it? You must be tired too, so you should sleep until nighttime. What if I became a true vampire? What would you do? Such a strange question, but that wouldn't ever happen. Because you're afraid of drinking blood, right? That's why it's a what if question. It's only natural to steal others' lives if you preserve your own in nature, right? So it's just a story of what if I became like that. Cut it out. That won't ever happen, and I don't like talking about what ifs. Didn't I say that before? Really? I like what ifs, not knowing how things will turn out, yet still having hope for at least that moment. That's right, you said something like that before too, Arcade. Yeah, so I was wondering what I would have done if you were a horrible person. Arcade? I love you, Shiki. You might feel this way and enabled me to tell you that like this. You're really kind to me. Why? Why is Arcade crying? Well, Shiki, I'll be leaving before you wake up. I won't be able to say goodbye directly, so forgive me for doing it this way. Sounded the door shutting. Still sleeping. I hear it close. I wake up. Bright sunlight streams in through the curtains. Looking at the clock, it just turned noon. Crap, school! I quickly get up. But come to think of it, it's Sunday today. There's no need to go to school. If there's anything I should worry about, it's the fact that I stayed over at Arquaid's place without calling home. Come to think of it, I saw a weird dream. A dream where I was talking to Arquaid and she kissed me at the end. I'm really out of it. For me to see such a happy dream when Arquaid is sleeping right next to me might be proof I'm really happy right now though. Don't you think so, Ark? I turn to the bed, and my voice cuts off there. Arquaid? I look at the bed in shock. There's no one there. Arquaid isn't around anywhere. I'll be going now. In my dream, Arquaid said that. Hey, wait. I look around the room, but of course she isn't anywhere. The only thing I find is a single piece of paper on the table. Huh? I don't know if it's some kind of junk, if it's some kind of joke, or it's in another language, but the paper only has the word bye written on it. Why? You don't want to believe it. But more than that, I can understand what Arcade did. Why? Gotta be kidding me. Bye is just too simple. We even promised. We promised to be together. I told her I'd help her until the very end. Why did she go off by herself again? Why, Arcade? I scream as loud as I can and crumble the piece of paper. After that, I fly out of the room and look all over like I've gone mad. I can't find Arcade. I know. I already know that she won't ever appear before me again. But I still can't give up. I'll go crazy like this. I'll go crazy unless I find her and yell at her for how much of an idiot she's been. But I still can't find her. I'll never see her again. Something desperately ends. She will settle things with Roa and disappear by herself. No, I think she's already finished and left the city. I stop thinking before I go crazy. I hear the voices of cicadas in the back of my ear. The discarded shells of cicadas. My body becomes light with nothing inside of it, and I cannot think anymore. So this is what it means to be truly empty. Not even tears come forth. Still an empty shell, my legs move. I guess it's just like an animal's instinctual sense to go home. Even though I have nothing left in me, I am walking towards my house. Okay. Well. So. That was the 10th day of Tsukihime. Eamon wanted me to call him when I was done, so he's gonna... Let me call him real quick. Eamon!
Dawson, did you finish it?
I finished day 10. There's an 11th one.
Oh, there's an 11th one. Oh, wait, that might be the epilogue. Share screen.
Oh. Okay.
I think that's the epilogue. Did you already have the fight with Shiki, all caps?
No. What?
No. Okay, so then you're not done.
Interesting.
I thought number 10 was the last one. I guess it's the last choice.
Okay, well, I don't really want to play another, hour.
But yeah. Damn. But go to title. Go to gallery.
Yeah.
Did you get any new CGs? What new CG? Oh, yeah, the kiss and sex scene this night. Oh, okay, so next episode I think is the last one?
Maybe this one could work. I don't know.
That one could work, yeah. Or the kiss, either one.
Anyways, we talked to fucking CL about the vampires. We've learned about the instincts they have or something. Vampires have. I forget the name. Vampiric something.
Okay.
And then I went over to Arcwade's house.
And then you banged. That's what happened, right? They banged. Okay.
Yeah.
Kiki and
you
Arcade
could
banged.
see in my gallery, I already have all of these.
Yeah. So then, yeah, okay.
Okay.
So you're gonna film another episode by yourself.
Damn.
Doesn't mean it'll be today, but all right. I guess that's a goodbye
Alright,
from the
guys.
audience.
See you later. Bye bye.